connecting your brain and body with interactive games and tests. Why is there no physical activity in today's health physical? Trazer is an holistic technology used to rehabilitate, prevent falls, and improve sport performance. Trazer reports provide you, your clinician, your physical therapist, or athletic trainer objective data to make decisions on your health and performance over time. Measure what matters to change your game. Take the Trazer Challenge. Confidence, growth, connected by Trazer.
Ball gets out pretty well, so does Rodgers. Got next to him. Gordon once again to the sideline.
At Fusion Sport, we're all about driving human performance. We develop and support a range of technologies all designed to assist people to be their best. Smartabase is used by hundreds of elite sporting organisations across the globe, and more recently has been used by the military and performing arts as well.
Our Smartabase technology has at the heart of it an integrated and connected philosophy. What's different about Smartabase is that it's truly flexible and self-engineerable. That really puts the power into our customers' hands, and it allows them to use it in unique ways that perhaps we haven't even thought of.
Between ourselves and the rest of the field, but here comes Jimmy Stone.
What's going on there, everybody? Well, we're back. We've been off for a week. Welcome into the Sports Arena. I'm your man, Eric Wilson. After a beautiful time off, spent with our family and friends, we want to wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving. Hope everybody is full of turkey and good to go. We've got a jam-packed show tonight. Let me go ahead and get the crew in here. As always, you've got our Queen of Hoops, Miss Megan Price is in the building. Fox Sports 1340 AM and Sideline Sports own John Shear. Joining us, welcome him into the arena for the very first time, my man, Mr. J.B. Ellis of Sideline Sports, and the future Dr. Jarrell Hester from Jarrell's Journals in the building tonight. What's going on, y'all? How's everybody feeling?
It's going well.
What's going on, fellas? Lady, how you doing?
Doing good. What's going on, guys?
Look, I'm glad she has the Christmas tree up before Thanksgiving and after Thanksgiving. She knows how to do it right.
Let me
Except for the
just say,
Spurs shirt.
Let me just say, Megan, my Christmas tree is up. It went up the day after Thanksgiving, so
Okay.
I can't give you grief anymore, but I still say it shouldn't go up before then, but it is what it is. Anyhow, we got a jam-packed show tonight, so let's get right into it. So, first topic, hot off the press, is I got to ask everybody this question. The New England Patriots are back atop the AFC East. That's where they've been for the last 2 weeks. And it's kind of like when we think things are going to change, in the end, they kind of stay the same. So my question tonight is, were we caught up in the moment with Buffalo? Because granted, they're going to get into the playoffs. That is still my hope. They are still my proverbial pick, to make a run into the playoffs. But I can't ignore the fact that Bill Belichick, Josh McDaniels, and now Mac Jones are back atop the AFC East. So I want to hear from y'all on this one. And as always, ladies first, I'm going to go to our girl Megan on this. What's your thoughts?
So the Patriots are sitting at 8-4. The Bills are sitting at 7-4. And the Patriots have not had their bye week yet. Their bye week is going to be week 14. So not this upcoming week, but the next week. I don't think that we overestimated the Bills. I still think that they're an extremely dangerous team, offensively and defensively. I think I'm just more surprised about how good the Patriots are with their rookie quarterback. I don't know if any of us really anticipated him to work out as well as he has. Obviously, he has. And Bill Belichick still reigns supreme as far as coaching because he's seen it. He cut Cam or let Cam walk, and he put Mac Jones in that position. So I'm not taking it away from Buffalo. I'm just more surprised about the Patriots.
All right. Let me go to my two guys here, JB and Jarrell. Give me your thoughts on this as far as, where New England is. Because for 2 decades, we have always known that New England was going to be atop the AFC East, and everybody else just kind of, figured it out for second, third, and last.
Yeah.
But then things changed. Go ahead, JB.
I mean, New England, Belichick is an unbelievable coach. I think we all discounted him last year when the whole Cam experiment didn't go the way that we didn't see it. I know I was one of the critics, so I'll be the first to say.
I got crushed on the show by JB and Jake for saying that it was not all Brady, that both of them were the success, and they both tried to convince me that it was all Brady and Belichick wasn't the reason that they had the success. So
huge difference, though. Huge difference. Brady has played in 2 places that had success 2 places. Belichick's been in 2 places as a head coach. He's 1-1. In Cleveland, it was a disaster. So you can't really say that Belichick was great before he got to New England. But Buffalo's problem is they're a piece short. You can't have your quarterback being, your running game. Even the Ravens, who Lamar Jackson, who was a great runner, he's still a quarterback, and they have running back. Even with all the injuries, they still have running backs to run the ball. In Buffalo, their biggest problem is that running game. It's just not there, and it holds them back from being a top-tier team when it's all said and done, especially when you get to the playoffs where the game is different.
Jarrell?
I agree. I definitely agree with Megan and JB. I think you hit it on the head. At week 12 by now, or at the beginning of the season, I was looking at New England at like 6-6, really. I didn't think that the rookie quarterback would be this set into a system. The system works perfectly for him. They're doing it on defense. They're doing offense. I saw a stat where they're outscoring opponent teams in the last 6 weeks by 148 points. They're putting up numbers. And then they're also like positive in the turnovers. He's managing the game. So they're positive 10 in turnovers. Anytime you're doing that, you're managing the game that well, is going to be great success. So I am surprised that they are doing this well this early, but it's looking very good for New England and it's telling a great tale for their system.
I spoke to this a few weeks ago. I spoke to the familiarity piece, and I said, one of the reasons why Mac Jones will have success in New England is because he's a familiar athlete, if you will, in comparison to the GOAT Tom Brady. He fit that scheme. He fit that mold. And credit to Bill Belichick, like I've said previously, he didn't have to move up. He didn't have to move back. He was at 15. He drafted the successor because, as I always say, you don't want to be the guy that follows greatness. You want to be the guy after the guy. And that guy is Mac Jones. Go ahead, John.
Are you guys done? I'm tired of this nonsense. Okay, we're just going to start this right here. All right, first of all, you lost to my Dolphins at home right off the bat. Then you beat the Jets. Good for you. You beat the Jets. Lost to the Saints whenever they actually had their players healthy. You lost to the Bucks. Oh, you beat the Texans. Good for you. That's a great win. Lost to the Cowboys. Beat the Jets again. So you beat the Jets, and Texans. That's 3 wins against teams that have no business being in the NFL right there. So, yeah, please stop me whenever this is a great team. You beat the Chargers, who we have no idea what the Chargers are. JB, you cover them, and we don't know week to week what you're like the Cowboys. You don't know what you're going to get out of that
Hey,
team.
Don't throw my team in it.
Panthers,
please throw Megan's
Panthers got stomped. We know what the Panthers are. They're terrible.
Come on.
Browns, we know what they are. They're a disaster. You beat the Falcons. Congratulations. Who hasn't beat the Falcons? Then you beat the Titans, who literally don't have Derrick Henry, don't have Julio Jones, and don't have A.J. Brown. Okay, thank you. Please tell me in that schedule of those wins where the Patriots are impressive. Because Jets, Texans, Falcons isn't impressive.
It's a 6-game win streak.
It's a contradiction to that.
Panthers too.
It's a contradiction to that. We all know that they had a set-up schedule where they were playing not the strongest schedule in the league. But as you can see, any given Sunday, these teams are showing out. They're beating the Denver upset the Buffalo. We thought we was gonna win against the Washington Redskins and the Dolphins. The defense showed out. The defense showed out. So any given Sunday, these teams are showing up.
The Jets beat the Titans and took them to overtime, but the Jets beat the Titans, John. I mean, come on.
But I mean, you look at what I just went through with the Patriots. Where are they impressive?
With a rookie quarterback. And all you could do is play who's on your schedule.
Yeah, I get that, but where? Like, what makes you think that they're better than the Bills?
I didn't say that.
No, JB, I mean, you're saying
they were better than the Bills.
I never said they were better, but they're beating who's on their schedule. That's all you have to do. Make the playoffs. Anything can happen.
We'll find out a week from today when they go to Buffalo and they get stomped.
And
we'll find out.
Momentum.
All right. So and Jarrell, you teed it up, but we're going to get to that in a moment. Which team is gaining momentum? So when I look at this team, John, I continually go back to just my original thought of it is truly the greatness of Bill Belichick and Josh McDaniels, because for 2 decades, what I always said was you had the GOAT and Tom Brady, and then you had a bunch of no-name guys that Tom Brady turned into household figures. Seriously, Danny Amendola, Wes Welker, Sony Michel, Rob Gronkowski. You know, the list goes on and on of guys who we never looked at them and said, oh, they're a first rounder, or there's someone who New England definitely needs. Yeah. But what did Brady and them do in their 2 decades, Brady and Belichick? They took those guys, gave them a very 3-word motto: do your job. And it has escalated and it has come to fruition. 6 championships, 9 Super Bowls. I mean, you cannot ignore that greatness. So to Jarrell's point,
speaking of last year, like you have to talk about how COVID affected that team. Like they had like 5 defensive players opt out, and then Cam had a really bad case of COVID. So, the Cam experiment obviously didn't work. I don't think he had like really a fair shake, but I don't think that you can use last year against Bill Belichick and his system.
I'm not.
And you're going to find out what the Patriots are made of, because why don't you go look at their schedule? At the Bills, at the Colts, home against the Bills, you get the Jags. Then you go to Miami, which Belichick struggles in Miami. They already lost to the Dolphins once. And, oh, yeah, the Dolphins are one of the hottest teams in the NFL right now. So I'm just saying.
How?
What do you mean, how? Have you been watching the Dolphins?
No.
Did you see that Cam Newton had one of the worst performances in the history of the NFL for a starting quarterback? Did you see that?
I didn't.
That was one of the statistically one of the worst in the history of the NFL. That was one of the worst ever.
I don't know.
So there you go. That's how the Dolphins are playing. Dolphins are one of the hottest teams right now.
That's a freezing cold take.
They're on the uprise. I'm with you on that. I don't know about.
I didn't say they're one of the best. I just said hot right now. They're hot. They won 4 in a row. Anytime you win 4 in a row, you have to raise your eyebrows.
And again, at this point of the season, we're officially, as of this Sunday, in December. So you know what that means? It's gut check time for all of these teams. Yes, we've added on an additional week of football, so we have 18 as opposed to 17 weeks. But playing in December, I have always said this, especially about Megan's Dallas Cowboys. That's what separates the boys from the men, because now we're going to find out who can play in that cold weather, who can play when you have to be the one to drive your team down the field 80 yards for either the game-winning field goal or the game-winning drive. Do you have the resources on both the outside and the inside to be able to either A, run the ball down their throat, B, make the completed passes, or flip it, be the defense that controls the line of scrimmage and does not allow these quarterbacks to be able to do what we know them to do. So this is that time. It is officially right now. And it starts this Thursday night, Miss Megan Price, with your Dallas Cowboys. And we'll talk more about that on Alex Fleming's NFL Carousel on Thursday night. But I just had to ask that question based on what I saw and based on, conversely, today, where we are at. I still hold that the Buffalo Bills will be able to get it done. I have faith in Josh Allen. I have faith in Cole Beasley. I have faith in Stephon Diggs. I have faith in Sean McDermott and that squad. I believe in them. So I'm not changing, but I am recognizing what it is that we are faced with. And I'm just going back to saying New England is back on top. We can't ignore that. We just can't.
Right.
You can call it schedule. You can call it whatever you want to call it. But speaking of Miss Megan Price's Dallas Cowboys, you know, I wanted to come on here tonight and I wanted to celebrate the fact that for 3 years straight, Dallas has lost on Thanksgiving. And I was hoping that I would be able to kind of relish in the opportunity to say Dallas lost, Philly beat up the Giants.
Negative.
Well, that wasn't the case. So I got to sit here and, okay, y'all give me a minute. Let me get it off my chest. Ladies and gentlemen, let me do what I do best. Let me give you an Eric's rant.
Swung on and hit in the air to deep left center.
Welcome into Eric's Rant, ladies and gentlemen. As I always say, I'm just another loudmouth with an opinion. So whether you like it or not, here it goes. And you know who this is directed at. The front office of the Philadelphia Eagles, we stink when it comes to drafting. All right? I'm just going to say it as it is. And I'm not going to bite my tongue. I'm not going to pull no punches. You see that little thing down there at the bottom? That's my Twitter handle. You got a problem? Come see me. Jalen Reagor. You were drafted by the Philadelphia Eagles in the first round above Justin Jefferson because Philadelphia saw something in you. What that was, I still don't know. But the fact is, when you're playing a divisional opponent and you have the opportunity to kind of plant yourself in a position to upset the current NFC East leader, Dallas Cowboys, and serve notice to our mortal arch rival, hey, we coming for you, don't slip, which they are doing. You had not one, but two opportunities to catch the ball. The one, you closed your damn eyes. I don't know who the hell taught you that in football, but I'm sorry. Eyes wide open, brother, because you easily were the guy to make that catch. And then Jalen Hurts had the belief to go back to you when the game was on the line, even though we had Devontae Smith, the Heisman Trophy winner. We had Quez Watkins. We had Dallas Goedert. But he went to you and you couldn't hold on to the ball. My brother, it's like, form the diamond and catch the damn ball. There is no excuse why we did not win that game except to say either A, you, sir, are not the man we thought you were, or B, I'm going to go back to my head coach and say, you need to find somebody else. Now, granted, Nick said he's not benching you, and I hope you're able to make up for it because we do have the Jets next week, and then we go into our bye. But best believe, Mr. Reagor, if you do not perform to the level of a first-round wide receiver, you and me are going to have a couple words. Just saying. Figured I'd put that out there for you. All right. I got that off my chest. Thank you very much. Let me go ahead and get the entire crew back in here. Megan, John, Jarrell, and my man, JB. Thank y'all for letting me get that off my chest. I needed to talk about that. So with that being said, Megan Price, even though we did lose, you currently sit above us in the NFC East. Are you nervous that we're making a run to upset you and take you to go from being the NFC East division winner to being a wild card team?
No, I still think that y'all absolutely have a chance at wild card. I think guys do have some potential over there, namely in Jalen Hurts. Last week was a weird game for you guys, or this past Sunday was a weird game for you guys, but I do think Dallas is going to come out on top of the NFC East. Thursday's going to be a weird game for us. We're going to be playing the Saints in New Orleans. We have no Mike McCarthy, and they just announced earlier that they're going to start Taysom Hill instead of Simeon. So Taysom Hill has some experience with them. With this team. So I expect it to be a better team than what we saw when they played Buffalo. After that, this is where our schedules get weird at the last part of the schedule with our division rivals. Like we're going to play Washington in Washington after that. Then we play Giants in New York. Then we play Washington again in Arlington, Cardinals, then Eagles in Philly. Now, if you go over to the other side of things with the Eagles, you guys just lost to New York 13-7. Then you play the Jets in New York. Then you play the Washington football team in Philly, Giants in Philly. Then you turn around and play Washington again in Washington. Obviously, you finish the season against us in Philly. So both of those schedules are weird. Division rivals, it can go any way, but I still think Dallas comes out on top.
All right. JB, what do you think?
As a Giants fan, I'm embarrassed for you, Eric. I don't know. I mean, I don't know what we're putting on the field week to week, how you lose to them. I mean, we're in worse shape than you were winning these games. So, but I think you guys, you're at least on the right path. I know you're not happy with your draft picks with Rieger, but I think Hurts is really good. But I don't know. I don't see you guys catching Dallas. You have a shot at the wild card for sure, but I think Dallas is a pretty good team. I don't think they're the top class of the NFC at this point. I used to think it was the Rams, but I don't even know what's going on there. Something to figure out at a later time, but yeah, I don't see the Eagles doing much besides maybe an outside shot at the last wild card.
So let me say this before Jarrell, you go, and then of course I want to hear from my man John. When it comes to the Eagles and Giants, I will say this to you: that game has that rivalry has always been one that makes me nervous because, like you, JB, I never know what the outcome is going to be. I've seen the best of my team. I've seen the worst of my team. I've seen Daniel Jones run 60-some yards in Lincoln Financial Field, and nobody. You couldn't find a green, white, or black Eagles jersey to save your life. And the only reason he didn't score because the man tripped over his own 2 feet. I'm yelling at the TV. Like, how is this even fathomable that the quarterback, Daniel Jones, is running in open space and ain't nobody around him? So when it comes to the Giants, I have a lot of respect for that team just because I know they're going to give us, no matter whether they're 0-15 or they're 12-3, it doesn't matter. When these two teams play each other, there's such a balance, if you will. It's like y'all are our yin to the yang kind of thing. When we're both up, we have exceptional football. When we're both down, we have exceptional football. It just doesn't matter. So I don't know what's going to happen. I look forward to the rematch. But yeah, Jarrell, and then definitely I want to hear from John on this.
I think Dallas is definitely going to win the division, hands down. Giants, I think JB summed it up perfectly. It's not looking good. It's another year for them. Redskins, Heineke is a sneaky player, man. He is all right. He can manage a game, but the difference is Dallas defense is way stronger. I think that's a determining factor. I don't care if McCarthy's not there. They'll be all right. And when you look at the offensive stats for Dallas, I think they got like 39 touchdowns on the year. Eagles have 35. But they struggle in the red zone and then turnovers as well and penalties. I think Dallas is a stronger team in that division. Is no debate. You know what I'm saying? So they'll be
fair enough. And just so clarification, is the Washington football team.
Oh yeah, what I say, Redskins?
Yeah. So
Redskins to me. I'm sorry.
No, I understand.
Protesters or anything.
I still call them the Oakland Raiders and the San Diego Chargers. So I mean that is me. So, but John Scheer, please.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the Cowboys, just because of numbers, are going to win this division. If the Eagles won the game yesterday, they would only be a game and a half back in the division with a game to play in Philly. Dallas would have to travel to Philly. So they would obviously control their own destiny because you win that game. That brings you within half a game. No, it's at the end of the year. So really, if they would have beat the Giants, which you have to win that game. I mean, the Giants are a bad football team. You have to come away with that game. And then to top it off, Jalen Hurts is hurt, and they can't even commit to him playing this coming Sunday because he's banged up. So that was a back-breaking game if you're going to win the division. There's still a half game out of the wild card behind the Vikings, Saints, and Falcons. Somehow the Falcons are tied for the 7th seed. I have no idea how that's possible, but the NFC is just a crapshoot right now whenever it comes up and down. I mean, you can't tell who's good and who's not. Dallas is going to win by default, but that injury to Zeke Elliott's knee is really concerning. He's downplaying it. But that injury, I mean, I know Pollard looks good, but you can't go and tell me that if Pollard was a starting running back, that team would be better or they would be even the same. I get he's explosive, in spurts, and he gets 10 carries, but if you give him 20 to 25 touches in a game, he's not doing what Zeke does. Let's just put that out there. Like, he's not game-changing, going to win you the game. Zeke can win you a game. You're not doing that with Pollard. I'm sorry, but you're just not. He's not pass blocking the same way. It's not the same, and Zeke is banged up. I get people love Pollard and the fantasy stats, but real NFL, if you watch, Pollard's not a bell cow back. I like the guy. I like him. He's a change of pace guy, but he's not a bell cow. So Dallas concerns me because, if you slow down Zeke with that injury, if you put it on Dak, he tends to struggle whenever you put pressure on him, whenever you blitz a lot. If he doesn't have a clean pocket, he tends to struggle, and that's what's been happening these past couple games. So Dallas really concerns me with the offense, and that should be the bar none. That should be set it, forget it. But Dallas is going to get in the playoffs, but I just am not confident they're going anywhere. I mean, I know it's not really your question. Your question was more about the division, but I'm concerned. I mean, I'm really concerned with what Dallas has got going on offensively. Like, this is bad. Because this team should be running away with the division. I mean, you should be beating Denver. You should be beating teams like the Raiders, who are not a good football team. You should be beating those teams and running away with the NFC. I mean, these teams are slipping up. The Bucs have been slipping up. They just won, but they've been slipping up. Packers haven't, but the Rams have. You had your opportunities, and you've been wasting them. Like, the Cowboys are going to look back, and they're not going to get to a Super Bowl because they need the 1 seed to get that. And they're not going to get it. The Cardinals are going to get it. And that's going to cost the Cowboys. And that's awful because this is a great year for the Cowboys. The roster is really nice. There's a lot of injuries. But, I mean, there's teams slipping up like the Rams. This is your chance if you're Dallas. Again, you keep losing to Denver and the Raiders. And you're going to look back and you're going to regret it, as Cowboy fans and players and everything.
Oh, no, Cowboy fans ain't going
to
regret it.
You know what they're
gonna say?
But you know what I'm saying? Like, this whole
you know what they're
thing,
gonna say?
You're going to look back.
Cowboys fans are going to say. Cowboys fans are going to say, don't worry about it. 2022, 2023, we winning the whole damn thing. That's what they're going to say.
Don't say the phrase. It's our year.
Yeah, that's what y'all going to say.
Great argument. Great argument.
But John hits all the nails on the head with this one. In the first half, if you will, of the season, we were talking about the success of your team, Megan, and Mike's team. And it was just the fact that finally it appeared as though the proverbial monkey, the walking piece of mediocrity that is your team, was starting to kind of get swept under the rug a little bit. Why? Because you were winning. I will say this, and shout out to my friend, the factual Frank Mazzei. He always used to say this to me. He said, Eric, winning is the deodorant. And I was like, yeah, you're right. When this team gets on a roll, as they did in the beginning of the season, and they were progressing, and you were seeing that even with Mike McCarthy's time clock management issues, you were winning. You were doing what you needed to do. You were playing the schedule. You pulled out the victory against the Chargers. You went toe-to-toe with the Bucs. You did what was needed to secure that number 1 spot. But see, I still go back to the month of November is always so tricky for your team, Megan. If you do not come out of this month with a positive record, at least 3-1 or maybe even a 2-2, you begin to decline. I've seen it happen numerous times. Now, with the schedule that you have, the only team outside of mine, of course, because I'm biased, that bothers me is the fact that you are going to have to play Arizona.
Right.
Now, you are fortunate. You are fortunate enough that game is played in Jerry World.
Right.
But that is a potential second round matchup between Dallas and Arizona. Should you be so lucky to get out of the first round? Because think of it like this. Let's say, for argument's sake, you get the number 4 seed or even the number 3 seed, whatever. 3-6. You realize that you're going to be playing maybe New Orleans. You're going to be playing maybe the Rams. We don't know. I mean, but it's going to be in your home stadium. And I don't care what anybody says. The hometown crowd does play a factor, especially in the playoffs. So you might get a victory. But whether it be Green Bay, Tampa Bay, or Arizona, or even the Rams, but I'll say if you do get the Rams at that 3-6, 4-5 matchup, as it pains me to say, I might support you. Probably not. But you might squeak out a victory. But Green Bay, Tampa Bay, Arizona.
And with Green Bay, you know what they were talking about today in Green Bay, we all know the road to the Super Bowl is going through Landry Field. You know what I mean? Lambeau Field. Like, that it's going to happen this year. And it's going to be in December or at the middle of January. Like, you're going to have to go there to make it to the playoffs. And so that's going to be something that affects us. Dallas, they don't have snow. Like, I have snow here in Amarillo. I have cold weather here. They don't have that in Dallas. So it's definitely going to affect them. And it's affected them many, many times with Green Bay in this scenario. So I definitely have concerns. Can't dispute anything that John has said or that you have said about my team. I have the exact same concerns. Like, our offense should be automatic. That should be the thing that I'm not concerned about at all. We do have some injuries, though, and I don't think you can discount that. But the teams that we should be locking down, it should be obvious wins. Denver, Raiders, we didn't show up. So even with the Chiefs, I wasn't too disheartened by that loss because we made an impact on them. I mean, it wasn't the greatest impact, but they didn't look like their regular selves playing us. So you could still kind of hold on to a couple of threads and say, you know, we didn't look great, but they didn't look their best either. But this game with Oakland or with Vegas, that really, really concerned me. There was bad officiating. You can't leave that out of the scenario. But a lot of those penalties we deserved. Cut Anthony Brown today. Cut him.
What she wants to say, ladies and gentlemen, is Anthony Brown, you need to get the hell up on out of Dallas because Megan Price don't want you no more. That's what it needs to be. So
for sure.
We're going to take a break. When we come back, we are going to talk about Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers and Matt LaFleur. And then also a question that I did pose to the group before we got on here tonight on the Sports Arena. And we've kind of touched on it a little bit. Which NFL team is gaining momentum right now? More with the crew when we come back.
Generations Physical Therapy has been the Tri-State's leader in physical therapy services for over 20 years. And now we have a convenient location right in the heart of the capital city of Charleston, just off I-64. With convenient parking and flexible hours, your access to physical therapy is second to none. Plus, Snap Fitness is also inside with 2 floors of gym equipment and sports enhancement training through A-Game Sports Performance. So whether you're needing hands-on physical therapy or looking to get results in our gym, our family's ready to help yours. Generations Physical Therapy and Snap Fitness. Multiple services, multiple locations. Experience you can count on.
welcome back into the Sports Arena live here on a Monday night. Your man Eric Wilson alongside our Queen of Hoops, Megan Price, my man from Sideline Sports, JB Ellis, Fox Sports, 1340 AM, Cardiac Kane, Fin Fanatic, and Sideline Sports as well, John Shear, and the future, Dr. Jarrell Hester from Jarrell's Journal. All right, y'all. So let me get to this next question. And it's very simple, this. The Green Bay Packers, we know this team to have been a very successful team, not just in the NFC, but in the entire NFL. But I want to ask this question. Since Matt LaFleur has taken over as head coach, between him and Aaron Rodgers, who has really benefited more from this head coach quarterback relationship? Has it been Matt LaFleur because he has Aaron Rodgers, or has it been Aaron Rodgers because now he has Matt LaFleur?
Oh, can I go first? Please.
Yes.
All right. Matt LaFleur, he's so lucky. I mean, we're going to find out. This is his last season where, I mean, he's going to have these pretty records of 13-3, 13-4, whatever. This is the last year, because when you get Jordan Love next year, you're going to have to actually coach. And when you have to actually coach, guess what happens? You're going to go in the drain and you'll be what? 6-11 or 5-12 or 4-13. That's going to be you, because Devontae Adams probably is going to want to go with Aaron Rodgers. He already alluded to comments like that in the offseason. So, and Aaron Jones was a bad signing in the offseason for them. I like Aaron Jones, but really, I mean, I think A.J. Dillon you could have done fine with and spent the money elsewhere where Aaron Jones is at. Now you're stuck in that contract, and you're not going to have a quarterback next year. So, I mean, this is the last year for Matt LaFleur. He looks better than he is because Aaron Rodgers is there. But when Aaron Rodgers goes and when Devontae Adams goes, you're going to find out what this guy's made of. And he's probably not made of much, at least in my opinion. I mean, he just walked into a nice roster with Aaron Rodgers, Devontae Adams. No, we're going to find out what this guy's made of next year. So it's all Rodgers supporting him. That's what that is.
All right.
It's like, by the way, it's like Ty Lue when he was the coach on the Cavs and LeBron was there. Yeah, Ty Lue wasn't good. LeBron was the reason that guy won a championship.
That's a good comparison. That is a good comparison.
Okay.
Like
all right, Jarrell, I see you smiling over there. Talk to me.
That's a perfect comparison. Hey, you've been on it today, John. Hey, you're on it. But anytime you can lie about COVID and tag somebody in, you can make monotone commercials on State Farm that are suck and nobody says nothing about none of that stuff. It's because you're a bad man, like Stephen A. Smith says. Like you said, Coach Matt LaFleur is lucky as hell. Once again, if he did not have Aaron Rodgers, he would be 4 whatever, 5 whatever. This man didn't practice 2 weeks in a row and came in like nothing happened and make the offense look so good. They're on a roll, man. They look great. They look the strongest out of anything. I'm so surprised out of LA. I thought the Green Bay was going to look how LA is looking. I mean, I thought LA was going to look how Green Bay is looking right now. They're strong, man, and it's all thanks to that bad man, Aaron Rodgers.
All right, Miss Megan Price.
I can't disagree with that. Now, you look at Matt LaFleur's record. He's 36-9 in the regular season. He's 2-2 in the postseason. We saw him be a QB coach for the Washington football team and the Falcons, and we saw him be an offensive coordinator for the Rams and the Titans. So he knows offense, but as we know, defense is just as important in the NFL as the offense is. But when you have someone like Aaron Rodgers that's carrying your offense, he is absolutely that difference maker. It doesn't matter how some of us think that he's probably lost his mind this season, bringing his foot out on a dang press conference, just doing crazy stuff. But he's still that dude. Like, he's still that important. And even in his 18th season with the team, we all know that he could go somewhere else and probably be a contender anywhere he goes, that he chooses to go. He might do well this season. He might retire, and that might be the end of it. But we know that that's on Aaron Rodgers. Matt LaFleur, we'll see what he's made of next season, but I don't have a lot of faith that it's not Aaron Rodgers.
Wow.
JB,
guys,
go ahead, JB.
You guys are killing me here. I mean, he had to deal with a crybaby over the last year. I don't want to play for you. I don't want to play for you. I don't want to play for you. Getting millions of dollars. Talking all this, I don't want to play. I want to go host Jeopardy. I don't want to win the NFC Championship game, but I want to host Jeopardy because that's more important to an NFL player. Meanwhile, Matt LaFleur has done nothing but hold the team together, get everyone ready to play. And when Rodgers finally came to his senses and said, I'm going to play another year in Green Bay, they came out at all cylinders. Now, it doesn't mean that LaFleur doesn't obviously benefit more from having one of the best quarterbacks in the league, but you got to give LaFleur some credit. This is not an easy situation for any head coach, and he's handled it well. Yeah, next year we're going to see how good of a coach he is, but he knows how to get his team together and get everyone ready to play. So you can't just discount him and say he's going to go 3-13, 3-14. He's not as bad as you think. And he does know offense, but they got to work on their defense. And when it comes down to it, Aaron Rodgers just doesn't win big games, aka the NFC Championship game last year. So I don't think, in that situation, good riddance, Aaron. Bye-bye. Go get a COVID vaccine. Call me later.
But everything you're saying, JB, is the politics stuff, is the off-the-field stuff. You're not talking about the in-game. You're not talking about the in-game stuff.
Needs to do. You have a coordinator to take care of in-game. You have an offensive coordinator to take care of in-game.
Coaching,
the head
I'm talking
coach
about
the administrator.
On the field. That's it. From first quarter to the end of the fourth.
Head coaches don't call plays. Usually the
I know, but you got to manage the game. You got to run all of it. You got to run the show.
Right.
Just like Eric runs the show here.
Yeah.
Matt LaFleur's got to run the show there. We saw one very tiny sample size.
Offensive and defensive coordinators, special team coaches, and all
very tiny sample size, but we saw one game, Jordan Love. We saw a little preview, little snippet of what that team's going to look like. Just one game. We saw what they were going to look like against Kansas City, and it was abysmal. It was one of the worst.
It was his first start, though.
It was brutal.
You can't compare Aaron Rodgers to Jordan Love and say,
no, I know, but I'm saying that's a little snippet, a little bit of what we're going to see.
I have to disagree with you because it's Kansas City, okay? And Kansas City has
Jordan Love couldn't do anything against Kansas City's defense.
Still.
With Devontae Adams. He was missing Devontae Adams over his head every throw.
But again, he's no Justin Herbert. He's not going to walk into a situation and I will agree.
He's a first-round quarterback.
Jordan Love is not NFL ready. He's getting there, whereas Justin Herbert walked in NFL ready. Okay, let me just say that off rip. But I have to side with JB on this one because, yes, your analysis, which is as great and as probably one of the best I've heard and been working with over the last 2 years, you're basing it solely between the lines. But JB hit the nail on the head. When you are a head coach, okay, you have to encompass not just one individual, but 53. And you have to keep the other 52 together in a unified front. So when that missing piece finally decides to wake up and drop in and say, hey, I'm going to tote the line this season, then you can move forward.
But go ahead, Jarrell. Please
now,
go ahead.
I definitely agree with you guys. There, in any coaching position, there is a leadership aspect that you have to maintain the team locker room, right? But like John said, in Aaron Rodgers, what are you getting? You're getting a LeBron. You're getting another coach on the field. So as much as you can manage and do all that. I don't know Aaron Rodgers personally, but I can kind of grasp his attitude. He sounds like arrogant. Nah, hey, we're gonna do this. This is what we want to do right now. So I can see a lot of instances in which Matt LaFleur might be saying one thing. No, we're going to do this. I know exactly what the hell we're doing. He had who else? Willie Beeman's a season goes on a podcast weekly and talks cash shit about his team, basically about the situations that was going on, arrogant as hell, and then comes out and perform. The coach doesn't monitor that. He doesn't monitor that. So in game beneficial to the team of what's going on right now, I say Aaron Rodgers has an upper hand, and we'll, like you said, next year we'll see exactly how much that is, happen.
I want to respond to what Eric said, because I know you said he has to take care of all 53, the other 52, but Aaron Rodgers means so much to that team that those 52 guys don't matter if Aaron Rodgers isn't there. That team's irrelevant if Aaron Rodgers isn't there. That's how much he matters to that team. If you take him off of that team right now and Jordan Love is the guy, and you put another backup quarterback in the roster spot of Aaron Rodgers, guess what that team is? That team is absolutely nothing. nowhere near the playoffs. They're done.
Their
season's over. That's how much Aaron Rodgers means to that organization right now. That's why they bent over backwards to get Randall Cobb, who's washed up. That's why they bent over backwards to bring him back and give him whatever he wanted.
You're comparing a different tier of person, John.
No, I know, but what Eric said was you have to take care of the 52 guys. Those guys don't matter if Aaron Rodgers isn't there.
John, so you're telling me Devontae Adams, you're telling me Aaron Jones, you're telling me David Bakhtiari, you're telling me Jenkins.
None of them matter if Rodgers isn't there. That's the way the team is built.
Okay.
And Devontae Adams, though. And Devontae Adams.
John, I can't get behind that, bro. I can't get behind that because
look at the Jordan Love game against Kansas City.
But again,
you couldn't hit Adams in the hands. They missed him over and over. They missed him.
Draft Jordan Love.
But this is his second year. Why isn't he showing anything?
Because
this is his second year for a first-round quarterback.
Because he has not been given the opportunity. That's why. You're piecing it on one game against a team that has been to the Super Bowl twice in the last 2 years and has won one of them. Okay. I don't. It doesn't matter to me that Kansas City may have been up and down this year. They're still the Chiefs. They're still our odds-on favorite to come out of the AFC West.
Now so I know
if this was, I'll put it to you like this, okay? If this was, I'm trying to find. Fine.
Chicago Bears.
No, because that's a divisional rival. I throw all division teams out the window. If this was Philadelphia, if it was Jordan Love versus Jalen Hurts, okay, and Jordan Love couldn't get the job done against my defense in Lambeau, then I would say, John, you're absolutely
really right. Well this year. Defense is solid this year.
John, if you were to take Aaron Rodgers out and you put Tom Brady at Green Bay, right? Do you think they would be just as good?
Yep,
I think they'd be fine. But when Rodgers sat behind Favre,
Rodgers isn't indispensable.
Hold on, Rodgers sat behind Favre, just like you said. Jordan Love sat behind Rodgers. Rodgers came right in, and boom, Rodgers was beating people off the bat. He threw for almost 500 yards in a playoff game.
Did he win his first start?
In a playoff game, he threw for 500 yards, almost 500 against the Cardinals, and lost in overtime.
What did Peyton Manning do his first year?
Yeah, Peyton Manning was terrible his first year. But we're talking about guys sitting that have never played. Rodgers came in right off the bat. Rodgers was something. Patrick Mahomes sat behind Alex Smith and came right in, and boom, right off the bat. Jordan Love has come in, and there's a reason why year two, they didn't even want to put him on the roster, and they wanted to leave him off and put other backup quarterbacks there because that's how far off he is. That's not good. That's not good when you're
Stop, but you can't blame the head coach for that. That's a GM's decision.
He has to develop him. Develop the guy. You're an offensive guru.
Not only that, you can't imagine that over the course of games that they're not going to develop chemistry. That's like I was saying with look at my man in Chicago. He stunk it up the first couple games.
Yep.
Yeah, Justin Fields. He's looking a lot better over the course of these weeks. They're talking about Jordan Love the same way they talked about Aaron Rodgers as a backup. So we have to give him time. One game doesn't determine anything.
All right. Really quick, because I asked him to join us because he is a Green Bay guy, and I figured if we're going to have this conversation, let's go ahead and get him in. This is our man, Alex Fleming's NFL Carousel. He is the Green Bay representative. He is my Chicago Sky brother. He is the one, Mr. Tyler Ingram. Tyler, are you there, brother?
Yeah, I'm here. Are you guys here?
We got you. So, man, so the question that I asked to the entire group was simply this. Between Aaron Rodgers and Matt LaFleur, and I'm going to give you the big screen here because I'm going to let you have your moment. Who has benefited more from this relationship between Matt LaFleur and Aaron Rodgers?
I actually I see both sides of this point. I think Aaron Rodgers, Matt LaFleur is still benefiting from having Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers is the best quarterback in the National Football League. Excuse me while I'm doing this in my Chicago Bulls gear. I know that's a little confusing right now. But I do think he's benefiting the most from this. However, the thing that I want to point out about Matt LaFleur is that Matt LaFleur is doing this with a lot of injuries right now. Like Jenkins is out for the season. Bakhtiari hasn't been healthy. They don't have Jair Alexander. They don't have Zadarius Smith. Like, this team has not been healthy, and they're still winning football games. They're 9-3. They lost one game at home last season. They're undefeated this season at home. Like, this Packers team is for real. And I think that a lot of people don't give credit to what Matt LaFleur has done with this running game, with drafting A.J. Dillon. I think this team's going to be competitive even beyond, because I think Matt LaFleur is a winner, and I think he is going to be a good coach going forward.
Okay. Thank you, sir. I just needed to get you in here. I know you're probably busy watching your Bulls game. But I just wanted to say thank you for joining us here tonight, my brother. I look forward to seeing you this Thursday on Alex Fleming's NFL Carousel. But I appreciate your time, my man. Thank you.
Absolutely. Go Pack, go.
All right. So, John, now that you've heard that, I got to hear your rebuttal.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's not that, like I said, it's not that LaFleur is a bad coach. We saw that Rodgers was being held back by McCarthy, and his offense was stale, and Rodgers was still trying to carry them. LaFleur is not a terrible coach, but he's not a coach. What I'm saying is he's not a coach that when you give him a mediocre to bad quarterback, whatever you're going to say Jordan Love is, he's not going to coach them kind of like Stefanski did with the Browns last year, where he took Baker Mayfield and that team, and they were able to stomp the Steelers and give the Chiefs a little bit of a fight in the second round. That's not what you're getting out of Matt LaFleur, and that's my point. Is, are you going to get that Stefanski model where it doesn't matter who you plug in there? You could plug Baker Mayfield into the Green Bay and they would go far. No, I don't think Matt LaFleur is that guy that's going to do that. That's my problem, is when Rodgers goes, can LaFleur be the guy like Stefanski was in Cleveland? And I don't see it. I just think that Rodgers does kind of like the Saints. When Drew Brees left after last year, Drew Brees covers up so many deficiencies with what he does at the line of scrimmage, what he does, during the week of practice. He covers up so much like Rodgers does. He covers up so much. And when you lose a guy like that, I don't think Matt LaFleur can compensate for what you're going to lose in Rodgers. And that's why I think Green Bay's going to fall next year, unless they get some veteran quarterback like Russell Wilson or something. But I don't see that happening.
Okay. All right. I will accept that for now. I still say, though, I agree with JB. I think what LaFleur is doing overall, both on the field and also dealing with the media, dealing with everything that has come along with the Aaron Rodgers swan song, last dance, call it whatever you want to call it. This team, is still producing victories. It is a team that has not skipped a beat. And I disagree that if you take Aaron Rodgers out of the Green Bay Packers, Green Bay, even though our brother Alex Fleming says Cleveland would be irrelevant, I don't feel like Green Bay would be irrelevant.
What would their record be? So say you get a whole season, the team is healthy next year, 17 games. What do you think their record is starting Jordan Love and he starts every game?
Until I see the schedule, I cannot give you a fair assessment because I'd have to see who they're playing. I have to incorporate their strength of schedule.
Would they contend? Like, would they contend for the division?
Okay, all right. Not knowing anything, and I mean, I'm sure I could look up to see who their potential players are outside of the division next year, because they'll play two different divisions, one AFC, one NFC, plus their own division and a couple additional teams. I would still give them a 500 or better record with Jordan Love and the complete entire roster healthy for 80% of the season, because injuries play a factor. So if you give me an 80% fully healthy, if you give me a fully healthy roster for 80% of the season, and Jordan Love is playing all 17 games, I still give Green Bay a 500 or better record.
So like 9-8, you think?
I might go so far as 11-6, John, but that depends on the schedule.
And Aaron Rodgers did win his first start against the Vikings.
It's the Vikings.
Well, I'm just saying.
All right.
He broke his leg in his first game against Dallas.
Okay. So let's move on to my last topic. And thank y'all for joining me again. JB from Sideline Sports own John Shear, future Dr. Jarrell from Jarrell Journal, Jarrell Heslip, and of course our Queen of Hoops, 806 in the Sip Off, Megan Price. Little spoiler for everybody. Be on the lookout over the next couple of days. I have been mentioning this over the past couple of weeks, and it has finally come to fruition. I'm so excited because my hands are all like I'm excited. The Justice League has officially been formed. What I mean by that, you will find out very soon. But my last thing of the night, which NFL team, and we've touched on this earlier in the show, who do we think is gaining momentum right now? Because this is the time, like I said earlier, that you need to have this momentum to ride you into the playoffs, into the postseason. So, Megan, JB, John, Jarrell, which team do you feel like is gaining momentum at the right time? Okay, timeout. Megan, who is carrying?
Whoa, Carl, come on.
Pearson. Carl Pearson. He's a friend of mine.
I'm sorry.
What is that nonsense? I mean, I could see you're covering your Cowboys and stuff, but you really just went there.
Some of us like Marvel.
Listen, I'm not okay. I'll explain.
I'm a Marvel fan myself, so
listen, I'm a Marvel. Listen, okay. First off, happy birthday to the man, Chadwick Boseman, Wakanda forever.
For sure.
Okay. I am definitely a Marvel guy. I like all of them, but I do it as an ode this is for Carl specifically. I do that as an ode to our late brother Alex Fleming when I say the Justice League is forming, because that was an envision that he and I had when we first started this journey together. So it's not to put one over the other. It's just that's what we do. Sorry, Carl.
He's a little bit of a comic book fan.
It's all good.
I like Justice League more than Avengers, even though I like both. I prefer Justice League. I think it's.
Okay.
I grew up. Listen,
but a lot of people don't like gritty comics.
I grew up on Justice League, so it is what it is. Anyhow, let's get back to the lecture at hand, which is which team do we feel is gaining momentum at the right time? I'm gonna give everybody the screen. I'm gonna give everybody 30 seconds. We're gonna go around the clock. So Megan, JB, John, and then of course Jarrell, and I'll give mine as well. 30 seconds, Megan. Which team's getting momentum right now in the NFL?
Okay, I mean, I had to pick two teams actually, but because we've talked about the Patriots so much, I am picking the Patriots as one of those teams, but we've already talked about them so much, their schedule. They're on a 6-game win streak, so they're in there. But to pick a team other than the Patriots, I got to go with the Colts. They're 2 games behind the Titans, and the rest of their schedule is the Texans, the Pats, the Cardinals, the Raiders, and the Jags. So they have a couple of tough games in there within the Patriots and the Cardinals. The rest of them are completely winnable games, and they seem to be picking up steam by beating Buffalo at the exact right moment. So that's who I picked.
All right, JB?
So I definitely have the Chiefs. They won the last 4. They got the bye week, and they've won a bunch of ugly games. The game against the Giants, watching that Monday night, they had no business winning that game. Game against Dallas was ugly. They're winning the ugly games that make teams, go far. Because when you can win ugly, it's another win in the win column. And the team that is going to look at the end of the season and kick themselves in the head because what's going on with the Chiefs and the Chargers, who I cover on the carousel. I mean, the Chargers had every opportunity to be 3 games up on the Chiefs right now and have them in a world of trouble. But unfortunately, they're just not doing it.
John Shear.
I have a lot of teams, actually. I think
you only get one, John.
The Cardinals look really good. I mean, Kyler Murray was out. DeAndre Hopkins was out. And you're still the number 1 seed in the NFC. Aaron Rodgers has a broken toe. And he always falls apart in the NFC Championship. And the Rams are falling apart. I mean, right now, the Cardinals have to be licking their chops. Cowboys are falling apart. On the other side, the Dolphins look really good right now. 4 wins in a row. Chiefs look really good. I mean, the Chargers have fallen apart. The whole division's terrible. You got the Chiefs, Dolphins, Cardinals. I love it.
Jarrell?
Oh, man. Hey, John and JB, y'all got my guys. And I'm just like you guys. I have 3 teams that I'm really looking at right now. Like you said, we already talked about New England. They're on the road. Green Bay is looking good. My 2 teams to watch out for is one is Kansas City, like my man said, hit everything on the hill. They're look like they're building momentum back from last year. They're getting that chemistry back. Another team to watch out for that might bust some heads. I ain't hear nobody say Cincinnati. I really like what they're doing.
7-4.
So I normally don't do this. I kind of go outside of the box and I kind of try to find a team that not anybody would speak of. But because it is his team, and I can't ignore their 4-game win streak because you play the schedule that's in front of you, I have to honestly say John Shear's Miami Dolphins is the team that I am saying is getting hot at the right time. I don't know if it's going to equate to anything, but look out for the Miami Dolphins. I can't ignore it.
I forgot to mention, am I allowed to add another team? Because I've been telling you guys about this team and they just barely lost. The Indianapolis Colts.
Well,
I
that's
mean,
what Megan
they
said.
barely lost. They barely
That's what I
lost
said.
to the Bucs. But man, that team right now, nobody wants to play the Colts right now. And Jonathan Taylor, nobody wants to play. And the Bucs got lucky beating them. So watch out for the Colts, man.
I did say that.
Well, we did say in our preseason
I wasn't even
picks
paying attention.
that the
I was too
Colts
mad
were
at Megan
going-
saying my Dolphins aren't good.
They're not.
The Colts were going to win.
Said gaining momentum.
Whether they have Carson Wentz or in spite of him. And so
I
they're
said in
doing
spite.
it. You did. Mike Carrottenuto, a little late to the party. We about to wrap it up, but he wants to join us for a quick late round word. What's up, Mike?
Finished my awesome hoops game, man. I got some Division I kids going here, man. It's freaking awesome. But yeah, the Dolphins are terrible. Forget the Colts. Carson Wentz is going to cost them everything. I know. I was on him. Jarrell. I said, yeah, the Colts. But I said, if Tennessee answers a defense question, well, they got smacked around the last few weeks, but they're still not going to catch the Titans. So I'll play the Colts with Carson Wentz as their quarterback, because unless they just elect to have their defense on the field the whole game to where they could shut down somebody's offense, I mean, please, man. The Colts, Carson Wentz is killing me. He's killing me.
At least he ain't killing you in the Phillies uniform like he used to. Anyhow, with that note, baby, we going to ride out of here tonight.
It was 1 year. It was 1 year.
How are you not going to mention your Cardinals, Mike? How are you not going to mention them sitting at top after all the injuries?
I was going to mention the Cardinals. I'm really sick of the national media, which cracks me up. It has something to do with – you can't say it's a left coast thing. It's not like basketball and everything else, guys, where it's on at like, you guys are going to bed and we're just like, oh, it's only 7 o'clock. Let's, it's 7:30. Let's party. But no, it's ridiculous because they'll say the Packers and they'll say the Bucs. Dude, I would love to see the Cardinals play the Bucs. Again, it's not about throwing down a gauntlet to Tom Brady. Dude, that defense, they can get in their face. And I'm sorry. Look, if Michael Pittman at 6'5" learns how to jump again, we might be talking about a whole different game. But I'll say this, dude, for the Redbirds, they play defense and they can run the ball, and Colt McCoy won 2 out of 3 games. So if you're not going to say the Cardinals are the best in the NFL right now, again, it could change from week to week, fine. I'll still take them over crybaby Aaron Rodgers and the Packers, as you know, Eric, because he is a crybaby. But yeah, I mean, the Redbirds, man, again, J.J. Watt comes back. They get the number 1 seed. J.J. Watt comes back, has that 3 weeks off. Dude, Chandler Jones is going to kill people in the playoffs. That's what I'm going to say.
Don't forget about Marcus Golden. He has 10 sacks.
All right. We're going to leave it there, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure you join us
and the
on
Dolphins
Wednesday
are terrible.
night.
I'm with Megan.
All right. We're not going to have
No,
this
you lost
conversation.
3 in a row. Get out of here with your falling apart Cowboys, and my team's won 4 in a row. Get out of here with that nonsense.
Mike Carrottenuto, Believe in the Pac-12, Jarrell's Journal, The Future, Dr. Jarrell Heslip, Sideline Sports, Cardiac Kane, Fin Fanatic, Fox Sports, 1340 AM, John Scheer. My man joining me on Alex Fleming's NFL Carousel, Mr. JB Ellis, as well as Sideline Sports, and our Queen of Hoops, 806 Sports, and the Sip Off, Miss Megan Price. We will see y'all on Wednesday night. Everyone have a great evening. See ya.